Hey bees, I'm Marie from Humblebee and Me, and today we are making my winter solstice face cream. So this is the first face cream recipe I have put out. I put it out on the blog back in December, and I gotta say, I really couldn't believe what I had been missing, and my skin was like, yes, cream, water, because I had been using oil serums for years, and my skin was pretty good. But then I started using lotion, and my skin was like, something I love about oil serums is that, well, they're 100% oil. So they're super, super potent. Just a couple drops gets you absolutely amazing sort of moisturizing things going on, and you get the full benefit of, as many sort of those oil fatty things as you can, right? Because it's not diluted in water. So when you're working with something like evening primrose oil and you're going I want me some gamma-linolenic acid all over my face, using straight up evening primrose oil is going to be the most effective, potent way to get that on your skin. When you dilute things in water, you obviously lose some of that, but you also gain a lot. One, you gain water. So if your skin is dehydrated, which I think mine definitely was, that's awesome. And then you can also include a lot of water-soluble things that you can't include in oil-soluble or entirely oil-based serums because, well, they just won't dissolve. So things like silk start to be on the table, things like Allantoin, which is a wonderful skin protectant, which is fantastic for winter. Things like panthenol, which is vitamin B5, which is a great humectant, which is also, super awesome for your skin. All of these things you can start to actually use, which is sweet, and aloe vera and rose water and witch hazel if you want to. There's so many cool water soluble ingredients that you can play with. So that's kind of your trade-off. Also, of course, when you include water, you do need to include a broad spectrum preservative, which some people don't love, so they prefer to stick with oil serums, and that's cool. But I gotta say, I would really, really, really encourage you to make this face lotion because it is a da bomb. I was careful to formulate this lotion to be quite light. So the oils portion uses a lot of really light penetrating oils. So we're using olive squalane, which really sinks deeply into the skin, which is awesome. Argan oil, which is just really one of my favorite things to put on my face ever. Mango butter, which is this wonderful, rich butter with a beautiful dry finish. So unlike shea butter, which can be a bit greasy, mango butter just sinks straight into the skin and just leaves your skin feeling silky, silky smooth and dry. Also awesome. I've included some vitamin E because it's a wonderful antioxidant and helps our skin regenerate. And then there's some cetyl alcohol to help thicken it, and some BTMS50 as our emulsifier, but you are welcome to use other emulsifiers, so complete emulsifying wax emulsifiers. So Emulsifying Wax NF, Polo Wax, or Emulsimulse/Reemulse are all great options. Well, this face cream recipe does have more ingredients in it than sort of maybe a standard body lotion that I would make because I put all these awesome for your face goodies in it. It really is just as easy to make as any other lotion. We have water part, oil part, heat, blend, and then the cool down ingredients. So that's our preservative and our essential oils, and then into a container, and voila! So yeah, let's go make some winter solstice face cream. We'll begin with our oil part. We have 5 grams of olive squalane, 5 grams of argan oil, 5 grams of mango butter, 3 grams of cetyl alcohol, 2 grams of vitamin E, and 5 grams of BTMS50. So this is our emulsifying wax. So you could use a different complete emulsifying wax if you wanted to. Other ones that you could use would include Emulsimulse or Reemulse. They go by different names depending on where you get them. Emulsifying Wax NF or Polo Wax. So we've got all of our oil ingredients in our beaker here. We can set that aside and get our water part ready. So I've got another beaker here, and this one has 54 grams of distilled water in it. I'm going to add 15 grams of rose water, and you could use a different floral hydrosol if that's what you have, or if you prefer something like orange blossom water or lavender to rose. In here, I have 1 gram of Allantoin, and that is definitely one of those words that I read a lot but rarely say, so let me know if I'm saying it really, really, really wrong. 1 gram of silk, and 2 grams of vegetable glycerin. So now I'm going to pop each part in a water bath. So this is obviously just a saucepan that's large enough to hold both of these beakers, and there's maybe an inch or 3 centimeters water in the bottom of it. And I'm going to take this and pop this over medium heat for about half an hour until everything is melted through over here and everything is dissolved over here. The Allantoin, if it's not heated, it is water soluble, it's just not highly, highly water soluble. So the heat helps. If you don't heat it up, you can kind of end up with shards of it in your lotion, and that's awful when you put it on your face. So here we go. Roughly 20 minutes later, the heat and hold portion of this is done, so we can remove our beakers from our water bath and set that aside. All right, now I'm going to pour the water part into our oil part. You can see it immediately becomes milky, which I always think is pretty darn cool. All right, give that a quick stir to kickstart the emulsion. And then for this one, I'm going to be using this little handheld milk frother thing. An immersion blender also works great. All right, I'm going to leave this to cool for about 10 minutes before coming back and giving it some more blending. 10 minutes later, the top of it's starting to thicken up. It's still pretty liquidy down there. And it still feels pretty warm. The sides of this beaker are pretty warm to the touch. So let's give this another blending here. All right, I want this to cool down a bit faster, so I will put the dish towel aside and we'll just leave this on the cool counter to continue to chill and thicken. Another 10 minutes later, and ooh, this is really thickening up beautifully here. Let's see here. Okay, so we're in that sort of warm but not too hot phase, so we can add our cool down ingredients, and we won't be needing this anymore. So we have our preservative and some panthenol. So for the preservative, we have 0.5 gram of liquid germall plus, which is equivalent to 0.5%, which is the maximum recommended usage for this preservative, which I always go with because I'm not making this in a sterile lab by any stretch of the imagination. And with the container I'm going to be putting this into, I'm going to be sticking my grubby little fingers in this lotion a lot. And a panthenol, that's 1 gram. And for our essential oils. So the original recipe on the blog uses a blend of lavender and spruce and cardamom, and I wanted to get a little freaky and add a little bit of michelia alba as well. So we're going to do 5 drops of lavender, 4 drops of spruce, 5 drops of cardamom, and probably 2 drops of michelia alba. So for a container, I have this little black dude here, which probably looks familiar in a luscious sort of way, if I do say so myself. I'll link to the supplier below. This is not a recycled one. This is a brand new one that I got from a company called Humblebee here in Calgary, and they have them in black and white and in a variety of sizes, which is awesome. And one of my favorite things about them is that they are metric friendly sizes. They're like 50, 100, 250 milliliters as opposed to ounces. And because everything I formulate tends to be based around 100 grams, it's really nice to have a container that's designed to hold 100 milliliters instead of 120. And there we have it. You just made some winter solstice face cream. Thank you so much for watching. Please subscribe and check the description box below for the full written recipe with links to the recipe on my blog and all the amounts of all the ingredients in both metric and imperial, and also links to places to shop and all the different ingredients all around the world. And yeah, the description box is a pretty sweet place to be right now. All right, I will see you next time.